Hello YouTube, Bookum Dano here. I've got Oliver Queen with me. Right, Ollie? He gets a little jealous of the camera here if it's not on him. I wanted to do a haul video showing some of the books I've picked up lately. By lately, I mean the last few months probably. But let's take a look. Let's start off with a few variants here. This is Grayson number 17, and it is the Neal Adams variant cover. Obviously a cover swipe of the Neal Adams cover of the Reaper in what is that, Batman 237, I think. Here is Deathstroke number 15. This is another Neal Adams cover and another swipe of his own one of his own covers. It escapes me at the moment what the original cover is, though. Sorry about that. Okay, this is Justice League versus Suicide Squad number 1. I saw this, and all these were pretty cheap, a couple $3 a piece, and but this is Deadshot and Batman in a battle scene. Thought that was pretty sharp and worth grabbing for a few bucks there. All right, this is Star Squadron number 45. This is a Roy Thomas story. I'm going to be going to C2E2 in, about 10 or 11 days now. And Roy Thomas is going to be there. I was interested in reading some of his stuff. He's a legend. But one of the things that he's kind of famous for is bringing a lot of the Golden Age characters, giving them some of the recognition that they deserve. So this is kind of a mashup, I think, between like the Justice League and some of these 40s characters that I'm not really familiar with. So kind of interested in checking that out and seeing what some of these other characters are all about. I have been reading Super Sons. There's only 2 issues out. It's a rather new story, but it's or new comic series. So it's John, the son of Superman, and of course that's Damian Wayne. Kind of a big fan of Damian, and he does not disappoint in this series. This is the Dustin Nguyen variant cover. I've got his variant cover for issue number 2 as well, which is the only one. They're only on issue number 2. But it's been a pretty good story so far. 2 issues in, a lot of humor, which is, it's not been a real big priority for me when I'm looking at the stories. But I really like Damian. So, and I've got the Dustin Nguyen cover for number 2 as well. I'm not sure if that's in here or not. This is another Rebirth book. This is Suicide Squad number 1. This is the I think it's Lee Bermeo cover. It was, like I said, just a few bucks, and I got it along with some of those other variants, and it's a real pretty cover. So thought I'd grab that. All right, here's a few more. All right, so I've got I sell books and comics at a little antique shop here in Chesterton, Indiana, small town in northwest Indiana, about halfway between Chicago and South Bend. And sometimes I'm able to find comics there from other sellers, and that's what this is here. So this is a early Bronze Age, I guess, maybe even late. Well, it's a 15 center, so I think that puts it in, into the Bronze Age. But this is Ghost Stories. Really like the skull cover. and this particular seller actually had a couple of them. They were in pretty good shape, not not perfect by any means, but the cover presented well on both of them. So thought I'd grab those. Those were pretty inexpensive. Here's another Ghost Stories. Forget the. I think these are issues in the 30s. Like this is issue 33 or something like that. You had to go on the inside to see. And we're up to 20 cents, as you can see on this one. Again, we've got another real pretty cover. I picked this up a while back. I haven't read it yet, but big, Ramones fan. I remember seeing the Ramones on Sha Na Na back in the late 70s, I guess. When I was a kid, my mom used to make pizza every Saturday night, homemade pizza, and we'd watch TV as a family. So it usually started with like Sha Na Na, and I remember Star Trek, the original series, was on. It was reruns, but that would be on, and then like Emergency maybe, which is about that was my favorite show as a kid. The two paramedics, firefighters there in Los Angeles. Anyway, I remember the Ramones were on Sha Na Na, and I was just a kid. I didn't know anything about music, but when they started playing, I was hooked, and immediately, that's what whenever I did get an opportunity to listen to music, I was looking for the big guitars and the fast speed and everything, and but the Ramones kind of started it all, so I couldn't pass that up. This I actually got last year. It's oddly enough, another music-related cover. This is Fleetwood Mac album cover, I believe. I have not read this book, but saw the cover. I thought that was pretty cool, and grabbed that. House of Penance. I didn't realize that was in here, but this is supposed to be a pretty interesting book. I have not read this either. I have the trade paperback for this now. I got it from my wife. I have not read it. You guys will have to let me know how good it is, and maybe I'll check it out. And then this is the big purchase so far. That is Amazing Spider-Man number 25. Pretty decent copy. It's supposed to be a very good fine, so 5.0. I haven't taken a real close look at it yet, but this is the first cameo appearance of Mary Jane, so happy to have that. That's a book I'll probably send in to CGC if I decide to do that. All right, and I got a few more here. This is kind of going down memory lane, I guess. Reliving the childhood. Again, when I was a kid, I was not big into comics or anything by any means. I did like books, and I was part of, it was some group that met at church, and they gave you rewards, for like attendance, and like if you could memorize Bible verses and that sort of thing. And that's where I think these came from. And I didn't know where these were. My ex-wife actually found them going through a bunch of stuff at her place. So she was nice enough to let me grab these back. They're not in the best of condition, mostly because I read them about 1 billion times. But this is The Hiding Place, which is a true story based on Corrie ten Boom. Her family hid Jews in their house during the Holocaust, and they eventually ended up in a concentration camp because they got caught. This this one I really read all the time because it had the most action in it. It's by Mitsuo Fuchida. His story. He was the Japanese pilot that led the attack on Pearl Harbor. Um, I've got this, bagged and boarded now, but it wasn't bagged and boarded for the first, since back when I got it in the 70s. It's been read like seriously hundreds of times for sure. But it's a pretty interesting story, and he finds religion at the end, I guess. But it's you can see how beat up this is. It barely held together while I put it into the bag and board. But I really enjoyed the story when I was a kid. I was a real military nut, I guess. Like books about World War II and movies and that sort of thing. And this is the final one in that series. I believe this is also the story that Angelina Jolie directed about, it's the Louis Zamperini story. He's a pilot in World War II, or at least in an air crew, and crashed, was taken prisoner, but he was an Olympic runner, and forget the name of that movie, but it got a lot of acclaim when it was out. So that's all I've got. Thanks a lot, YouTube.